Some gadgets look harmless, some look futuristic, and some look like they belong in a sci-fi movie. But what makes today's list shocking is how many everyday items quietly fall into restricted or illegal zones, depending on where you live. In this video, we're breaking down 20 real devices that blend into normal life, but can get someone into serious trouble if carried or misused in the wrong place. This is 100% educational, with no instructions or promotion, just awareness. And trust me, number 1 is the most unexpected of all, UNIDEN R3. This small dashboard unit looks like an ordinary electronic accessory, just a screen, buttons, and a plastic casing. But the UNIDEN-style radar detection device can pick up certain signals from speed monitoring systems, giving drivers awareness of enforcement activity. In many regions, owning such a device is harmless, but in others it's viewed as a way to undermine road safety systems. Some places don't allow them even to be powered on in a vehicle. What makes this device tricky isn't its appearance, but its purpose. Because it looks like any normal car gadget, someone could carry it without realizing it's banned just a few miles away. The technology itself is simple, but the laws surrounding it vary drastically. And that's exactly why it starts our list. Radar detector mirror. On the surface, this is just a regular rear-view mirror. There's nothing about its shape, color, or mounting bracket that hints at anything unusual. But built inside the mirror's frame is a hidden detection module that quietly performs the same function as a radar device. Its biggest issue isn't what it does, it's that it hides what it does. Some regions classify disguise technology differently because concealment suggests intent to avoid detection. A plain gadget becomes legally sensitive the moment it's tucked into something meant to look completely harmless. This mirror is the perfect example of how a device becomes controversial not through its power, but through its stealth. And that brings us to an item that makes hiding information even more literal. UZIMO Super Sensitive. THRU-WALL device. This compact device looks like a small metal sensor disc with a headphone port and a control knob. Set it against a surface, and it amplifies vibrations from the other side. Engineers, construction workers, and emergency responders use similar devices legitimately to detect movement, leaks, or internal structural noises. But the moment someone tries to use it to hear conversations or monitor people without consent, it crosses into illegal territory immediately. Unauthorized audio monitoring is heavily restricted, and possession of such a device in sensitive areas can raise serious questions. The gadget is tiny, but the legal implications are enormous. It turns solid walls into open sound channels, and that single capability is enough for many regions to classify it as a prohibited surveillance tool. Spy glasses. These sunglasses look completely normal. Lightweight frame, stylish lenses, comfortable design, but hidden near the bridge sits a micro camera that records video discreetly. Wearable cameras have legitimate uses in travel, sports, or creative videography, but secret recordings of people without their knowledge break privacy laws instantly. Workplaces, schools, clinics, gyms, and many public facilities strictly ban hidden recording devices because they blend into environments too easily. Someone standing in a crowd could be filming without anyone suspecting it. And even possession of hidden cameras in restricted buildings can be treated as a violation. These glasses show how everyday objects become legally complicated the moment recording capabilities are added where nobody expects them. Hidden device detector. This pocket-sized detector looks like a simple remote or scanning tool, complete with antennas, lights, and a small screen. Its job is to locate hidden transmitters, wireless cameras, or trackers by detecting radio signals. For personal security, this is helpful. Travelers often use them to check hotel rooms or rentals. But in secure environments, research labs, examination halls, government buildings, and private corporate areas, unauthorized scanning is not allowed. These detectors can reveal protected equipment, interfere with security protocols, or expose sensitive layouts, making them restricted in certain spaces. Ironically, a tool built to protect privacy can violate the privacy of protected locations. It all depends on where and how it's used. Hidden safe diversion book. A diversion book is one of the simplest but sneakiest items on this list. Closed, it looks exactly like a dictionary, a novel, or a textbook. The spine, the colors, even the printed pages look convincing. But inside is a hollow storage compartment designed to hide small objects. At home, it's a harmless organizational trick, but in airports, schools, or secure workplaces, using disguised containers can be considered concealment. Authorities often treat disguised storage devices very differently from simple boxes or pouches. The issue isn't what's inside, it's the attempt to hide it inside something designed to fool the eye. That small detail shifts the object from clever household item to suspicious concealment tool. Lighter knife. This object looks like a standard pocket lighter. Same size, same shape, same exterior. But tucked into a hidden slot is a fold-out blade. Whether the lighter part actually works or is just a dummy, the issue is the same. It is a blade disguised as an everyday item. Many regions regulate disguised weapons very strictly because they're designed to bypass visual detection. A normal folding knife is usually allowed within certain size limits. A blade hidden inside an object that appears harmless is treated differently because it's intentionally deceptive. Even if someone carries it for innocent reasons, the disguised design itself can make it illegal in certain places. A blade that looks like a lighter is exactly the type of object regulations target. Spiral boot knife. Compact, slim, and built with a twisted blade profile, this knife is meant to be strapped to a boot or ankle. Fixed blade tools are common for outdoor activities, but hiding a blade under clothing often falls under concealed weapon laws. The spiral design gives it a unique shape that stands out, often associated with specialty use rather than everyday utility. Many regions restrict concealed blades regardless of their size. A knife worn openly in a sheath might be completely legal, while the same knife hidden in a boot could lead to legal trouble. The combination of concealment, blade shape, and placement is what makes the spiral boot knife a regulated item. PIRHANA knife. This knife is visually aggressive, deep serrations, exaggerated claws, and stylized points. The dramatic shape is appealing to collectors, but many countries regulate blades based on design, not just length. Double edges, extreme serrations, or claw-like profiles often fall into restricted categories because they are seen as offensive rather than practical. Even if displayed at home as a collectible, certain regions classify these designs as prohibited. Laws don't care how someone uses it, they care how the blade is shaped. The PIRHANA knife shows how aesthetics alone can put an item into a banned list, even without harmful intent or real-world use. Spartan blade. Inspired by ancient short swords, the Spartan blade is thick, heavy, and visually intimidating. Collectors appreciate it for its historical design, and martial arts practitioners use similar blades for demonstrations. But these characteristics also place it under strict regulation in many regions. The size and reinforced construction often mean it cannot be carried publicly, and even transporting one may require special permissions. Although it may simply hang on a wall as decoration, the shape alone puts it into restricted categories. A tool of history becomes a modern-day legal complication. PROVOKE X. This futuristic folding karambit features an articulated mechanism unlike traditional knives. Its blade deploys forward through a series of mechanical pivots, giving it a unique and rapid opening motion. Enthusiasts admire the engineering, but some regions regulate one-handed or rapid deployment blades regardless of their purpose. The PROVOKE X looks like a gadget from a sci-fi movie, but because of its mechanism, it may fall under restricted knife laws. It's not the size that causes concern. It's the ability to open quickly with one hand. A marvel of engineering becomes a legal puzzle depending on where it's carried. Throwing star set. Flat, sharp-edged, and shaped like classic shuriken. Throwing stars are iconic martial arts tools. Many people collect them for display or use them responsibly on private property for hobby target practice. But in many countries, throwing stars are completely banned because they are classified as offensive weapons with no practical day-to-day utility. Even owning them at home may be restricted. Their design alone puts them in a prohibited category. It doesn't matter if they're displayed in a glass case. The law sees the shape and history behind them. Signal Mirror Flare Gun. This compact tool serves two purposes. Its mirror can reflect light for long-distance signaling, while the launcher can fire small emergency flares. In remote or wilderness situations, these devices can save lives. But launching flares in populated areas is a serious hazard. Misfires can cause fires, property damage, or public alarm. That's why many countries require permits or training for flare launch devices. A life-saving tool in one context becomes a safety concern in another. The flare gun shows how intent and location define legality. Pepper Spray Gun. This launcher-shaped tool fires irritant-filled projectiles or concentrated spray designed for personal defense. Some regions allow it under controlled rules, while others classify it similarly to regulated weapons requiring permits or age restrictions. Using it in inappropriate settings, busy streets, public transport, or enclosed areas, even carrying one into protected zones such as airports or government buildings is strictly prohibited. The pepper spray gun sits right on the line between legal self-defense tool and restricted device, depending solely on location and context. Powerful Flashlight Kit. Although it looks like a standard flashlight, some high-lumen models emit enough intensity to overwhelm vision temporarily. Add features like strobe patterns and reinforced bezels or built-in modules, and the classification shifts. Certain regions regulate high-output tactical lights because they can double as disorientation tools in sensitive areas. A flashlight is meant to illuminate, but when its features go beyond simple lighting, it may fall under regulations that govern tactical equipment. Something as common as a light becomes legally sensitive under the right conditions. Thermal Camera. Thermal cameras detect heat signatures, revealing temperature differences invisible to the naked eye. They're used for home inspections, electrical diagnostics, hardware testing, and wildlife tracking. But problems arise when people direct them toward private homes, windows, or vehicles without permission. Unauthorized thermal imaging can violate privacy laws, especially with advanced models capable of detecting heat through thin materials. The tool is incredibly useful for professionals, but its ability to observe without visible light places it under legal scrutiny. Technology built for safety becomes a privacy issue the moment someone uses it improperly. Lock Bypass Tool. These thin metal tools look like harmless pieces of metal, yet they can manipulate simple lock mechanisms without damage. Authorized locksmiths use them for legitimate access, but for unlicensed individuals, carrying these tools can be interpreted as intent to bypass security. Many laws classify bypass tools as burglary equipment unless used by certified professionals, even without harmful intent. Having them in certain locations, near restricted facilities, or areas with strict security can result in serious consequences. A tool designed to help people locked out of their homes becomes a major legal risk when carried without authorization. EMP Jammer Kit. This experimental kit produces small bursts of electromagnetic energy capable of interfering with nearby electronics under controlled conditions. The hobbyists use them to study interference for educational purposes, but because signals and communication frequencies are heavily regulated, generating unlicensed interference is illegal in most countries. Even low-power interference can impact medical equipment, communication devices, or safety systems. The kit's purpose may be scientific, but the risks associated with improper use make it one of the most tightly monitored types of hardware. Technology that manipulates electromagnetic fields is subject to strict laws for good reason. Ghost Gun Kit. Ghost gun kits consist of partially completed components that hobbyists previously used to finish at home with tools. Regulations have since tightened worldwide. Many regions now classify these kits as restricted items because they can be turned into functioning devices without standard serialization. Even owning certain unfinished components can fall under manufacturing or possession laws. What used to be a hobby machining project is now one of the most strictly regulated categories of hardware globally. The laws surrounding these kits focus on tracking and accountability, and misunderstanding them can result in severe legal consequences. Police badge replica. This item looks harmless, a shiny metal badge with an official-looking emblem. People buy them for costumes, collectibles, or film props. But the moment someone uses one to influence a situation, gain access, or present themselves as authority, it becomes impersonation, a serious offense everywhere. A badge carries symbolic power, and that's exactly why replicas are tightly regulated. Even displaying one in the wrong environment can raise questions. It doesn't use electricity, it doesn't have a blade, and it doesn't produce sound, yet it carries more legal risk than any gadget on this list. Sometimes the most dangerous item is the one that relies only on perception. These 20 gadgets show how something can look ordinary, yet fall into restricted or illegal territory, depending on the laws around you. The key takeaway is simple: always stay informed, always check your regional rules, and always prioritize safety. Let me know which item surprised you the most. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.